Hello everyone, it's time for another tip of the week. This time let's talk about how to mix warm and cool colors and make them work together as a symphony. Talking about the warm and the cool, probably the best example is using the weather like this, the snow scene. Here is a reference photo. You can see if you exactly copy this photo, you may end up with some kind of a grays and a little bit of blue in the sky. And what is this? It can be gray, can be blue. But if you copy it exactly, it may look very boring when you copied gray, 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 gray. The best way to paint is use the warm color and the cool color and the combination of them and create a multiple level of the warms and the grays. Then apply to a painting. This is the one I did. You can watch a separate video about this painting. And so this is the one that's from that boring reference photo, and using the cool, the warm, the cool, the warm, the cool, the warm, and make them work together. So that's what we're going to talk about. How do you mix these colors? Okay, if you start knowing how to mix these colors, and you can apply to a painting to make the painting really work like a symphony. Okay. For a pure, concentrated, cool and warm color, it's easy. You look at my basic palette. By the way, if you want to know the exact color, you can look for my videos and talking about all the basic colors in my palette. So here are a group of blues. Okay, so the blues, we gave them a name, say they are cool colors because it related to icy condition, to the cool sky, etc. It's man-made, okay? You cannot, if you touch it, it doesn't have a temperature. By comparison, if we have warm color, that relates to fire and, some warm other things, sunlight, so the yellows are also warm. So that's very clear. But you cannot use these to paint snow. You have to mix them together. So the mixing first is if you just diluted the blue, it will become a lighter blue, and that's a cool color. And let me get a bigger brush. So here is a lighter blue, and if you just add water even directly to the paper, it becomes even lighter. With these, that's the part that you can see you can use for the snow. Okay, but sometimes if you just use one blue, it becomes a little bit boring. So what you can do is you add a red, which is a warm color, but this red is a little purpler than the other one. I only have two reds. Okay, so this red is a rose madder. Yeah, I think it's a rose madder. Okay, if you apply this one, mainly red, and with a little bit of blue, now you have some kind of a purple that can change your blue to be much more interesting. See, I'm mixing this directly on the paper, and you see here is a bluer, here is a purple. It's more towards a purple. Okay. Then don't forget things like yellow and burnt sienna. They are all in the warm category by comparison to the cool blues. So you can use these for a portion of cool color. If you cannot, the warm color. So if you just look at this, it's hard to say, it's a brown. But if you put it next to a purple, or let's say even to a blue, you can definitely see this is a lot warmer. So that's by contrast and by comparison. So I'm mixing these, some portion of the burnt sienna and some red, the cadmium red, and put it a little bit more directly on the paper next to it. And you can even pull this into the blue section. Okay, let's do a little bit more. This is pretty much like a full strength of ultramarine blue. Okay, and then if you make this cool color, you want a lighter cool color, you do this way. Okay, add water. If you want something to warm this cool color, to warm it a little bit, warm up this one, you just add red, any red. So this red, make it look purple. The other red, what is it? It's a beautiful combination of elegant grays, the warm grays that you are creating, then you can use it for a snow scene. Okay, if you want a darker, easy, you just add a darker color. So I'm adding a little bit of black, a little bit of burned amber, and with a cool color. If I want darker cool color, that's what you're going to get. It's a very dark cool color, because we're using mainly blue, but with some other darker colors. And here, then if you want to warm up this portion, it's the same thing. You add warm color mixture in there. And now you see you have warmed up the combination of the original blue and the darker version that we mixed together. Okay, so these are the beautiful ones in the create cool, warm, warm, cool. I'm dipping water in there. And if you don't think this is cool enough, if you think here is a little too warm, add some blues. It's going to cool it down. Then you say it's too cool, then one more time, you just add a warm color in there. Okay, so now the blend is start becoming some kind of elegant gray. Okay, you see the blue we used at the very beginning, it was ultramarine blue. It's here, diluted. And look at how beautiful this area is. It's the mixture. And look at here, this is also a little bit by comparison, because you have a lot of warms next to it or mixed portion into it. So now it has an elegant purplish cool color or more of a warm tone. And you can even now, it still has some moisture there. I'm just using the water to pull it away. And then these mixtures become super useful when you paint in the painting. So the cool, warm, cool combination make a painting like a symphony or like an opera. They really sing together, okay? So for the snow scene, what we can see, you know, if you copy things here, it looks like very dark gray. But if you think about a cool, warm, and warm, cool, then you will create something like, you know, the band of this, maybe it's a little, let's say it's a little creek in the snow. So we're just using this very cool color and merge it into a purplish. So I'm just using the red and I put a little bit of blue in my palette and mix them directly on the paper. And so now you have a purplish icy creek within the snow. And the snow is something that you don't paint. You leave it as is, and somehow it magically become snow. Okay, so I'm painting the band or the dirt. What's the dirt? Dirt is a lot warmer than the shadow of the snow. So I'm just putting it here, making it look like dirt. And on top of that, the snow white is it casts a very blue shadow, and that's what you're going to get as the color. So this is a simple version of a blue, cool blue. When you paint in the painting here, now you see this is exactly the same way as we mixed, and this is the band, and these are all just white paper. Okay, then we put warm, little bit of cool color, and warm, little bit more cool color but darker, and warm, and little bit more cool color. So now you see this is a cool, warm, cool together, and they definitely sing as the combination for your painting. Okay, so that's how we mix cool color and a warm color for a snow scene. For other places, it's exactly the same. Okay, it's exactly the same. The snow scene probably is the most clear version of this. Okay, and you see this purple and the darker color, what we mixed, is used here. Okay, very simple. Just either ultramarine blue, ultramarine blue or cobalt blue, and with the different types of red, and you can mix from here to here to here. Just these few colors. So remember one thing, blue can be diluted, then the warm color can be diluted, but you must use them together as one main cool blue, one little cool, warm color, and then your color will not become boring. And the best way you can see, I'm demonstrating here, is on the paper. You mix them together. If it's too dark, add water immediately, and they will dilute, or you can drip to add if you want a texture. Or if it's too light, you want a darker, you just, when it's still moist, add any darker colors. Think about a cool, you want a cool darker color or cool warm color. So just add that accordingly. And this is how the beautiful cool warm color created. And it's so much better. You directly mix these colors on the paper instead of either completely mix one dead color in palette or get a tube of exactly purple or exactly blue or exactly some kind of a cool color. You cannot get those. The best is the watercolor's beauty is do it on the paper and use your water. So simple, right? Okay, so I hope you can try this at home. Then maybe try to paint a snow scene from your reference photo. I strongly suggest you watch my other video about this snow scene painting so you can see how I mix them in action when applied to this painting. Okay, so that's the tip of the week, and hope you can try this at home, and thanks for watching.